Yorkshire. The most popular pig breed in North America. Not one of the most popular. The most popular. By a margin so large it makes every other breed look like a regional experiment. Walk into any commercial hog operation in Iowa, Illinois, or Indiana. Look at the pigs. They are white, upright-eared, long-bodied. That is Yorkshire, or Yorkshire crossed with something else that still carries Yorkshire genetics. The breed is so dominant that American commercial pork is basically the story of one English pig that arrived in 1893 and never left. The sows are the reason. A Yorkshire gilt becomes a mother before she is 1 year old. She delivers 12 to 14 piglets per litter. She milks heavily, rarely rejects her young, and can repeat the cycle twice a year. In commercial math, that is the entire business model in one animal. The meat is lean. Too lean for some. When American consumers started demanding fat-free everything in the 1980s, Yorkshire genetics saved the pork industry from a health food crisis. The breed had been producing lean muscle for decades before the market asked for it. Yorkshire is so common that most people don't know it has a name. It's just a pig. The invisible backbone of a $26 billion industry. And the next breed is the exact opposite of invisible. Berkshire, the Wagyu of pork, black body, white socks, snout, and tail tip. A pig that looks dressed for a formal event and produces meat that gets treated like one. Japanese consumers discovered Berkshire pork decades before Americans did. They called it kurabuta, meaning black pig, and turned it into a luxury product. A single Berkshire pork chop in a Tokyo restaurant costs more than a full rack of ribs at an American chain. The Japanese paid premium prices for a British breed that Americans were quietly ignoring. The fat distribution is the difference. Berkshire meat marbles like beef, white streaks running through red muscle, the fat melting during cooking and basting the meat from inside. Commercial white pigs are lean. Berkshire is not. That fat is where the flavor lives. The breed almost disappeared during the lean pork craze of the 1980s. When the industry pushed for less fat, Berkshire became unfashionable. A handful of small farms kept the genetics alive. When the food culture swung back toward flavor in the 2000s, those farmers suddenly had the most valuable pig in America. Berkshire pork now sells for 3 to 5 times the price of commodity pork. The pig that was almost deleted from American farming came back as a fine dining ingredient. And the next breed went to college before it became dinner. Duroc, the red pig, reddish-brown coat ranging from light gold to deep mahogany, drop ears hanging forward over the eyes, a pig that looks relaxed but grows faster than almost anything else in the hog barn. Duroc is the world's most widely used terminal sire. That means, when commercial producers want fast-growing market hogs, they breed their sows to Duroc boars. The Duroc doesn't become the product. It makes the product better. Behind every fast-finishing commercial pig is usually a Duroc somewhere in the recent ancestry. The growth rate is the reason. Durocs can gain 3 pounds per day under good conditions. They reach 250 pounds in 5 to 6 months. The feed conversion is efficient, the carcass yield is high, and the meat has enough intramuscular fat to stay flavorful without reaching Berkshire levels of richness. Temperament is calm for a pig. Durocs don't panic easily, handle confinement well, and are less aggressive toward penmates than some other breeds. In a facility with thousands of animals, calm genetics matter. Stressed pigs bruise. Bruised pigs lose value. Duroc's easy disposition quietly saves money every day. The breed originated in the American Northeast in the 1800s, crossing red pigs from New York and New Jersey. An American original that quietly conquered global commercial pork. And the next breed was built entirely for one purpose that has nothing to do with eating. Hampshire, the pig with the belt. Black body, white stripe running around the shoulders and front legs like someone forgot to finish painting. It looks so specific that it shouldn't be natural. It is completely natural. That white belt is a genetic marker. Breed a Hampshire to anything, and some offspring carry the belt pattern. Farmers used it as visual verification before DNA testing existed. If the baby pig has the belt, Hampshire genetics are present. A built-in timestamp. Hampshire carcasses grade well. High muscle yield, minimal back fat, firm, lean flesh. Packers pay premium for Hampshire carcasses because they produce large loin eyes, the cut that drives supermarket pork sales. The tenderloin and center cut chops that fill refrigerated cases are disproportionately Hampshire genetic product. The breed almost vanished after a genetic problem emerged. A stress gene called the halothane gene spread through Hampshire populations. Pigs carrying it produced pale, watery, low-quality meat when stressed at slaughter. It took decades of testing and selective culling to clean up the genetics. The belt stayed. The bad gene got removed. Hampshire pigs appear in 4-H competitions across America every year. Kids show them at county fairs because the breed is photogenic, manageable, and competitive. The pig with the belt became the face of youth agriculture. And the next breed came from an island no one expected to produce famous pigs. Chester White, an all-white pig from Chester County, Pennsylvania, that has one skill above all others: motherhood. This breed doesn't win any awards for growth rate or carcass yield. It wins the award for keeping piglets alive. So temperament is unusually gentle. Chester White mothers lie down carefully instead of dropping their weight suddenly, which reduces crushing deaths. They have high milk production that keeps even the smallest piglets gaining weight. They accept fostered piglets from other litters without the aggression that causes losses in less patient breeds. In commercial operations, pre-weaning piglet mortality is one of the most expensive problems in the business. Every dead piglet is sunk cost. Farmers who cross Chester White maternal lines into their herds report measurably lower pre-weaning deaths. The math adds up faster than any growth rate improvement could. The breed has existed since 1848, one of the oldest American swine breeds still in commercial use. It survived every wave of genetic fashion because its maternal traits are genuinely difficult to engineer into other breeds. Some things can't be selected for quickly. Chester Whites are rarely the star of any operation. They're the reason the stars survive: invisible infrastructure with ears. And the next breed is the opposite of invisible. It looks like it belongs in a petting zoo. KuneKune. It means fat and round in Maori. That is not an exaggeration. This pig from New Zealand is the shape of a barrel with legs and a personality that makes grown adults use baby voices. The tassels are real. 2 small wattles hanging from the lower jaw called piri-piri. Not every KuneKune has them, but most do. No other pig breed has this feature. Nobody knows exactly why they developed. They serve no known function. They are just there, dangling, making the pig look even more impossible. KuneKunes graze. That sounds obvious for a farm animal, but most pig breeds require grain concentrate to thrive. KuneKunes can sustain themselves almost entirely on grass. Sustainable farmers and homesteaders discovered this and created an entire movement around raising pigs on pasture alone, eliminating the feed bill that bankrupts small operations. They almost went extinct in the 1980s. Only about 50 purebred animals remained in New Zealand. 2 wildlife park managers, Michael Willis and John Simister, spent years tracking down every surviving bloodline and established a recovery program. The entire modern KuneKune population worldwide traces back to that rescue. KuneKune pork is extraordinarily flavorful. The fat layers from grazing create a depth of flavor that grain-fed pigs can't match. High-end restaurants now specifically source KuneKune and KuneKune cross pork. The fat round pig from New Zealand became a fine dining ingredient without ever trying. And the next breed is the oldest pig in America, Landrace, the long pig. American Landrace has the longest body of any commercial swine breed. Enormous floppy ears covering the eyes, white coat, an animal so distinctively shaped that it looks like someone stretched a normal pig in photo editing software. Denmark created this breed deliberately. In the early 1900s, Danish agricultural scientists set out to engineer the perfect bacon pig. They wanted length for maximum loin and belly yield, lean muscle for export quality, and maternal traits strong enough to anchor large-scale commercial production. They spent decades selectively breeding until they had exactly that. The back is arched, the belly hangs low. The body is built for producing the longest possible loin and the widest possible bacon slab. Danish bacon conquered British breakfast tables in the early 20th century and funded a significant portion of Denmark's national economy. A government-designed pig that became an international trade commodity. America imported Landrace in 1934. The breed was so valuable that the Danish government required special permission for export. The genetics were treated like intellectual property decades before anyone used that phrase for livestock. Landrace crossed with Yorkshire produces the most common commercial sow in America today. 2 breeds from opposite ends of Europe, combined on American farms, generating most of the pork in American supermarkets. And the final breed survived 10,000 years without human help. Mangalitsa, The pig with wool, not fur, not thick hair, actual curly wool covering the entire body like a sheep that made very different life choices. When people see one for the first time, they usually check whether they're being tricked. This breed comes from Hungary and was the pig of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Aristocratic tables served Mangalitsa exclusively. The fat content is extreme. 65 to 70% of the carcass is fat. That sounds alarming until you taste it. The fat is soft, lard-like, with a flavor profile that makes chefs use words usually reserved for truffles and aged cheese. It nearly disappeared. After World War II, communist agricultural policy pushed Hungary toward lean commercial breeds. By 1990, only a few hundred Mangalitsa remained. A Spanish businessman named Juan Vicente Olmos heard about them, flew to Hungary, bought the last viable breeding population, and almost single-handedly saved the breed. Spanish charcuterie producers discovered that Mangalitsa fat melts at a lower temperature than commercial pork fat. That single characteristic makes it perfect for high-end cured meats. Jamin from Mangalitsa now sells for prices that would embarrass Iberico producers. A Hungarian sheep pig saved by Spanish ham makers. Mangalitsa pigs take 16 to 18 months to reach market weight. Commercial pigs take 5 to 6. The math doesn't work for commodity production. It works perfectly for luxury. The woolly pig from the Austro-Hungarian Empire became one of the most expensive pork products on earth. The slow pig won. Before you go, hit subscribe and drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from.